Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Wisconsin.
From beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Milwaukee Brewers swing against Central Division rivals continues. First of three against the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is Game 7 of a 22-game stretch. Rematch of a matchup last Saturday at Miller Park. Jimmy Nelson on the mound for the Brewers. Vance Worley getting the start for the homestanding Pirates. Good evening from PNC Park in Pittsburgh. He's Bill Schroeder. Craig Deshawn is our reporter. You know those guys. Brian Anderson is away for the next few weeks on NBA playoff duty. I'm Matt LePay. I'll be sitting in for BA here for the next couple dozen games or so. Rock, good to be with you. Jimmy Nelson back on the mound. If he can top what he did last Saturday night, that's big news because that curveball was something else.
Kind of a big surprise, wasn't it? Nobody really knew what to expect out of Jimmy Nelson, but the spike curveball for Jimmy was unbelievable. He digs that index finger into the seams of the baseball, gets a little bit extra rotation on that baseball. There you see it right there. It's the middle finger, the index finger. He gets the special rotation. That pitch goes straight down. He got 9 strikeouts, a lot of them coming on that curveball. Now the big key for Jimmy Nelson here tonight, the Pirates were surprised at that curveball back at Miller Park. I don't think they're going to be surprised about it today. We'll see what kind of adjustment Jimmy makes, and we'll see the adjustments that this Pittsburgh offense makes tonight.
7 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball, a career-high 9 strikeouts. Can he do it again? Pittsburgh's seen it, so we'll see how they adjust and see how Jimmy Nelson fares as the Brewers and Pirates get ready for the first of a 3-game weekend series in Pittsburgh. We'll get it started coming up on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Casino. Book your stay now. It is a gorgeous night in Pittsburgh. The forecast changed and for the better in the last couple of days. Expecting some nice weather throughout the weekend. 69 degrees, partly cloudy sky, no wind to speak of. It is just a perfect night here to start this series. The Brewers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. As we take a look at Ron Renneke trying to get his team going as they continue this stretch against the Central Division rivals. Brewers dropped 2 out of 3 last weekend at Miller Park to the Pirates. Let's get to the starting lineup now, presented by Colorado. For the Brewers, Gene Segura in the leadoff spot again, followed by Jonathan Lucroy and Ryan Braun. Middle of the order, Adam Lynn, Aramis Ramirez, and Chris Davis. 7, 8, 9, Gerardo Parra, Scooter Gennett, and Jimmy Nelson. And just like last Saturday night, tonight that lineup will face Vance Worley.
Yeah, the Brewers are able to lay one on Worley back at Miller Park. A 6-0 victory. Jimmy Nelson was the starting pitcher. A lot of curveballs from Worley in that last start at Miller Park. 6 1/3, 7 hits, 6 earned runs for Vance Worley, who is 1-4 career in 6 starts against Milwaukee, including that 6-0 loss to the Brewers back at home.
See Gene Segura, who will be in that leadoff spot for tonight and perhaps for a while. Ron Renneke yesterday in meeting with the media before the series finale against St. Louis, talking about how he would prefer to have one guy there, and obviously Segura the option now. Carlos Gomez on the 15-day disabled list with a hamstring injury, and so the Brewers, that's a big hit obviously, but everybody else just trying to pick it up a little bit.
And Jason Rogers recalled from AAA Colorado Springs to take Gomez's spot. You've seen a lot of Jason Rogers in spring training. Big right-handed bat with some pop.
Yeah, had a good Cactus League and was off to a very good start in Colorado Springs, and now gets the opportunity. Gene Segura will start things off. He had 3 hits in the series last week against Pittsburgh, and there's a strike from Vance Worley, and we're underway at PNC Park. Segura homered off of Worley last Saturday. It was a 2-run blast. A lot of curveballs served up by Worley a week ago as Segura rolls one to second. That's Sean Rodriguez, super utility player for the Pirates, getting to start at second, and there's the first out of the game.
Well, let's check out the Menards Pirates defense. They've been picking it pretty good. They've only committed 2 errors so far this year, second in the league. The Atlanta Braves have only committed 1. Rodriguez filling the spot over at second base and replacing Neil Walker, who has been a Brewer killer over the course of his career.
Yeah, getting a little rest tonight is Neil Walker, and Rodriguez gets the opportunity. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. He's 1 for 8 in last weekend's series against Pittsburgh. Worley last year 8-4 with the Pirates, pitched well. Opening day starter for the Minnesota Twins a couple of years ago, but helped this Pirates team last season. Lucroy rips one down the line, but just foul.
Well, the Brewers are going to see a lot of that breaking pitch from Worley. He hung a lot of them at Miller Park. You would figure it'll be a little bit different here today. Worley not originally in the starting rotation. Charlie Morton placed on a DL. So Worley inserted into the rotation and got roughed up at Miller Park.
To the tune of 6 runs. It was a lot made of Jimmy Nelson's performance, and rightfully so, but the Brewers' bats got it going at Worley's expense. 2-strike pitch to Lucroy.
Where'd that miss? I think Vance Worley wondering where that was. Worley not a hard thrower. He's going to mix it up. He'll sink it. He'll cut it. He'll throw that curveball. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire tonight. And Lucroy strikes out swinging, out number 2 here in the first.
Yeah, there's that curveball. A much better location in the first inning than he did back in Miller Park. Down and away to get Lucroy.
Let's take a look now at our DraftKings player to watch, Ryan Braun, who has fared well in 18 at-bats against Worley. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Enter promo code CREW.
Yep, and Ryan realizes how important he is to this Brewers offense. He's got to get it going. Braun has good numbers against Worley, and so does Ramirez.
This Brewers team in the midst of a 22-game stretch against the Central. You've already seen the Pirates once. That was last weekend in Milwaukee. But both teams trying to get going offensively.
Yeah, Pirates really had a tough time against Detroit. Not swinging the bats all that well, so somebody's got to break out of it, you would think.
Yeah, they were shut out in each of their last 2 games. Clint Hurdle's team managing a total of 5 hits in games 2 and 3 of that series with the Tigers. There's a fly ball hit back into center. McCutchen on the run, has it tracked, and on the track makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Brewers. We are just getting started. Andrew McCutchen hit cleanup tonight. I'll tell you about that when we continue. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Brewers retired in order in the top half of the first inning. Now Jimmy Nelson will go to work against this lineup presented by Potawatomi. Take a look at the Pirates batting order. Josh Harrison and Cisco Cervelli. Gregory Polanco 1-2-3. McCutchen, Alvarez, and Marte in the middle. Mercer, Rodriguez, and Worley rounding out the batting order against Jimmy Nelson, who was just terrific last Saturday night at Miller Park against the Pirates. 7 innings. Shutout baseball. Gave up just a couple of hits. Walked 2. Struck out a career-high 9.
Yeah, that was the impressive thing about Nelson's performance. That big curveball, we've been talking about it all day.
There's a bouncer to Ramirez at third. 1 up and 1 down for the Pirates in the first.
Well, Nelson was terrific. He started out the game in good shape. He had the curveball from the first inning on. And once Jonathan Lucroy realized how good that pitch was that particular night back at Miller Park, he just kept going to it, and Jimmy kept throwing it down in the strike zone, didn't make any mistakes with it. And you got to tip your hat to Lucroy realizing that early on, and got Jimmy through a terrific start. Always got to get kudos to the catcher.
Of course. Of course. Francisco Cervelli batting second tonight. We've seen either there or 7th in the order. 2 spot tonight as he takes one inside.
That's a good combination, a fastball in and a curveball. I mean, you keep these guys honest off the outside corner. Cervelli, you can see right there early in the game, these guys are diving to that outside corner, waiting for that hook.
Bouncing ball, another chance for Ramirez at third. And 2 outs near the bottom of the first. Gregory Polanco is roll the plate. Polanco 2 for 10 last weekend. Bit of a choppy start, as you can see, with his batting average. Had a terrific beginning, called up last year, had a big hitting streak to start his big league career, and then hit a very rough stretch, went 1 for 30, sent down for time, and then when he was brought back up, his playing time was limited. But his potential, they would tell you here, is, if it's not unlimited, it's pretty close.
Not the first time a young kid came up and really dominated. Then second time through, league learns you a little bit. They make adjustments on you, and you've got to make the adjustments too. Polanco's still in the middle of that phase.
Yeah, that hitting streak he had was an 11-game run. Good way to start your career. There's a chance for Segura at short. And just did get him. Close.
He got that in that line quickly, didn't he?
He sure did. And we'll see. Is Polanco not quite sure? Rick Leyva, the first base coach, still out there. We'll hold it here for a second. And determine whether the Pirates will determine whether they want to challenge.
I don't think they are.
It will not be challenged. A 1-2-3 inning for Jimmy Nelson. 3-1 in Pittsburgh.
Gomez goes to the disabled list with that strained right hamstring. So Jason Rogers is recalled from Colorado Springs. Had some nice numbers there, 360, a couple of home runs and 7 RBIs as well. Gomez looks like he's going to be on the DL possibly 2, maybe 3 weeks, as they want to make sure that he is fully 100% before he comes back. You know, he needs his legs to not only play center field but also to run the bases as well. And Rogers brings a good bat, as Rock mentioned. He can hit lefties and righties just as well, so some power and pop, and we'll see if some of these young guys who haven't played a whole lot get in there this weekend before the weekend's up, guys.
Yeah, the trick for Ron Reddick is going to figure out ways to get Rogers in the game, get him some at-bats, and keep him hot.
They're breaking him in here, huh? Messing around behind him.
See, pregame you don't get the pie. That's a postgame thing.
Well, let's hope for that at some point with Jason Rogers.
Right, be nice tonight. It's always good things happen when you get the pie in your face.
1-2, the count to Adam Lind. There you go, Matt Garza and Kyle Loesch.
Rowing the boat by him. Yeah.
You have to stay loose in this game, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Lynn tries to go the other way. That'll carry out a play.
Yeah, the veterans like Loesch and like Garza, they know when to try and keep things loose. And the start that the Brewers have been on so far, not very good. And that's when the veterans got to step up and loosen the guys up.
Things get magnified early. The Pirates last year in the first month of the season went 10-16. They really scuffled. And oh, by the way, the World Series champs have lost 7 in a row. San Francisco. It does happen.
Yeah. You just hope that you don't get off to a bad start. You're going to have stretches where you're not playing all that well. You're not going to be swinging the bats. You just don't want all that happening all at the same time.
Lynn on 1-2 pulls it foul. Well, again, when you think too with this schedule that the Brewers are playing, Central Division heavy. This division considered by many, if not most, the best in the big leagues. It's not like we don't have layups anyway, but it's especially so seeing the Pirates, and then the Reds will come to Miller Park next week, and then the Cardinals make the return trip. Just does miss. 2-2.
Yeah, that's a tight strike zone from Chris Guccione so far. We saw that pitch that Lucroy took. It looked pretty good. Called it a ball, and that last one to Adam Lynn looked pretty good.
Vance Worley last Saturday pitched 6 1/3. I mentioned the Brewers got to him to the tune of 6 runs.
They've had a 3-up, 3-down first inning just like he did tonight, but then the Brewers put a 3 spot on him in the second inning.
3-2 to Adam Lind. And he works him for a walk.
He tried that 2-seam fastball, did Worley to get that outside corner, but it's a little bit tight out there.
Both teams trying to get going offensively. More on that. Let's check in with Craig.
Chat before the game with Clint Hurdle, and I think he put it best. He said, you got to stay positive because nobody can take your confidence away but you. He said, if you're a player, the fans can't do it. If you're the manager can't take it away from you. Only you can do it. So he said, you have to stay positive, believe in yourself, and that's the kind of rut both these guys are in right now, both these teams.
Well, and again, you don't make it to the big leagues if you have trouble with your confidence. I mean, you're confident in your abilities and you're confident in your ability to snap yourself out of bad stretches, or you don't ever get to the major leagues. Not an issue. Confidence. Frustration, that's a different thing.
Okay, both teams may be dealing with a little bit of that at this early stage. The Brewers come in with a 2-7 record. The Pirates 3-6, but I'll give you the records, just probably know it already. But Renick's talked about he doesn't pay a whole lot of attention to that. He just wants to play well, play good baseball. Obviously, you want to win every game.
And he really hasn't been happy with the way the guys have been playing defensively. So, lack of offense, not playing well defensively. That's why the Brewers have only won 2 games.
That is strike 3 called. That's second strikeout for Vance Worley. 1 out here in the second.
Yep, even with the tight strike zone, that one had a little bit more to the plate than Ramirez had thought. And you can see where Cervelli is setting up. That one had plenty of the plate. On Fox Tracks, it had the corner.
One out, 1 on for Chris Davis, who has reached safely in each of his 8 starts to begin this season. Going after the first pitch.
This has really been doing a good job of taking the baseball to the opposite field. It's going to take one of these guys to get a hold of one to loosen everybody up. Talking to Darnell Coles about that at the batting cage today. It's just, a couple of guys start getting hot, everybody else will relax.
Yeah, you get the sense, just the history of this team and knowing the kind of hitters they have, that when the home runs start, they're going to come in bunches and scoring, period.
They've always scored runs like that. I mean, they're not a team that typically is going to be, driving in runs, runners in scoring position a whole lot. I mean, no team is really great at that, but when the Brewers hit home runs, they normally win.
0-2 to Davis. And there he is again, going the other way, and this will fall and will go to the corner.
That's just something else, isn't it?
How about that? And that will go out of play, so it's a double for Davis. Lynn to third, and just what you're talking about, Rock, Chris's ability to.
That right field stroke. I mean, it's amazing to see Chris Davis, even in batting practice, hitting the baseball very hard to the opposite field, and that's not a bad pitch from Worley. Up a little bit, but on the corner, and he goes right with it. I mean, that is a nice piece of hitting by Davis, and unfortunately it hops into the seats, or Adam Lynn might have been able to score.
A little backspin on that side spin, able to take a right turn. Here's Gerardo Parra. The Brewers with an opportunity here in the second inning. One out and runners at second and third. And the Pirates with the infield back, they'll trade the out for the run. Or the run for the out as Parra with a ground ball to second. Lynn is in, and the Brewers are first on the board.
Not exactly what Parra wanted. He got a hanging curveball, but able to drive in the run. So the Brewers on the board first.
Davis advancing to third. 2 men out for Scooter Gennett. So the Brewers get the first run of the night. And they're going to go ahead and walk Gennett with the pitcher on deck.
Yeah, Clint Hurdle not messing around. A lot of managers would go after the number 8 hitter. Let's see if he would chase, but not messing around with Jimmy Nelson on deck, who has had a rough time and has made his professional career swinging the bat.
He saves it for the biggest of the big guns.
All of his professional hits have come in the big leagues.
Yeah, and when you take a look at who they've been against with Jimmy Nelson, Jacob deGrom, who was a National League Rookie of the Year last year, and then if he's not getting hits off Rookie of the Year performers, he's getting them off Cy Young winners, Tim Lincecum and Clayton Kershaw.
There you go. And none in the minor leagues.
None. No, that was kind of it had some people chuckling a little bit because when he got his hits, he didn't know how to turn first. He was running straight through the bag.
He usually makes a right turn, right?
Takes a hard cut. Swing hard just in case.
He's a big boy. He gets a hold of one. I mean, he's not afraid to let her go. He might get a hold of one of these days and send one out of here.
Hey, Bartolo Colon got a hit the other day. Swung out of his hat.
Right, literally.
Runners at the corners with 2 outs. Brewers with a run across here in the second. If nothing else, this does turn over the lineup. Happens this way via the intentional walk. So worst case scenario, the Brewers back to the top of the order in the third.
I think the Pirates expecting Jimmy to hit the ball to the opposite field. Polanco is playing about as shallow as you will ever see a major league outfielder play, and he's on the line. There he is over there. Not expecting Jimmy to drive the baseball in that direction.
1-2 the count. And that'll end the inning, but the Brewers pick up a run on a hit. And they are first on the board through an inning and a half. 1-0 Milwaukee.
two other pitches. Here's the fastball grip. See the fingers. You got the fingers along the seams. That's the two-seam power sinker for Jimmy Nelson. And you see the slider. You see the fingers on the side of the baseball. You don't really snap your wrists on the breaking pitch. It's all about finger pressure and location of the fingers at the release point. There's the slider that he's been looking for, and there's that spike curveball grip. Digs that index finger into the seams, gets a little bit extra rotation, he gets a good downward action, and that's the pitch that really made the difference for him in the last start.
Andrew McCutchen hitting cleanup tonight. It's the first time that he's been in that spot of the order in almost 2 full years. June 1st or June 2nd rather, 2013. It's only the 29th time in his career that he's been hitting fourth.
And they're doing that. I mean, they got McCutchen in the cleanup spot because Neil Walker has the day off. He's the cleanup hitter. A scheduled day off for Walker. Brewers are okay with that. Walker has had good numbers against the Brew Crew.
Nelson out in front, 0-2. Well, Walker in his career has gone deep 11 times. Only McCutchen among the current Pirates has hit more homers. McCutchen 22 times he's played long ball against the Brewers.
Yeah, keep Walker on the bench.
Yes.
Switch hitter. There he is. Pittsburgh native Neil Walker, switch hitter.
Had 23 homers last year. Getting power numbers from Pirates middle infielders unlike any they've had since Bill Mazeroski. Almost got him.
He buzzed him, right?
Sure
McCutchen looking at that curveball, diving to that outside corner and straighten him up with the fastball. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, as you and BA talked last week with that fastball that he has, and then at that curveball, if he can continue to be effective with that, we're talking about quite a difference in pitch speed.
Yeah, that power sinker is still his best pitch. I mean, it's a pitch that he was able to get 3 ground ball outs in the first inning. He didn't throw a curveball in the first inning. Broke it out with McCutchen at the plate.
Figured the Pirates would be ready to see it, and they haven't seen it. They didn't see it all in the first, and McCutchen lines one down the left field line, and that'll be extra bases. Davis off to Karam, and it's a stand-up double for Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah, he's something else. He can hit, no doubt about it. Had a bad knee back in Milwaukee, but still able to swing the bat. A curveball that stayed middle in, a mistake for Jimmy Nelson. And McCutchen, as if he was looking for it, able to whack it out there in the left field. Big league hitters make adjustments very quickly. You're going to have to figure out, different pitches. Got to get that slider going and keep them honest. They know it's coming now.
An ongoing chess match. Pedro Alvarez. Talk about the adjustments, and it's because of the extra work, Rock. This is much earlier in the day.
The pitching machine throwing curveballs to McCutchen. Maybe that's why he hit that one hard down the left field line, the curveball, in a 3-2 count.
Fastball that misses away, 1-1 Alvarez. He's hit 3 homers already. In the last couple of years, the first month of the season has treated him well. He's gone deep 9 times. Only Adrian Gonzalez and Justin Upton have had better starts with power numbers.
Yeah, he's got terrific power. It's just a matter of being able to keep that batting average up. Stay in the lineup. He was platooning there for a while. I think that's going to be the case again this year with Corey Hart. He'll be playing first against lefties.
Yeah, Alvarez moving across the diamond had been the third baseman. It's a throw back to second, but McCutchen was able to get back. Alvarez was having defensive issues, a lot of errors, 25 last year, almost exclusively throwing errors, so they moved him over to first. Also had a foot injury that he dealt with. They want the bat. Josh Harrison's emergence last year, been able to make that fit. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Pirates' first baseman. Brewers with the first run of the game. The top half of this second inning. McCutchen a leadoff double in the bottom half. Got him swinging.
Good curveball, went back-to-back pitches with the curveball. Doubled up on the hook and got him on strikes on that final one. That was a good one. You see the grip, you see the break, and gets Alvarez on strikes on the dandy. Good location with 2 strikes. Tough pitch to hit when you try and pull it.
First strikeout for Nelson, and now he'll face Starling Marte. Marte really scuffling to begin this season. In 29 at-bats. He has struck out 14 times.
Man, when he gets hot, look out, though. I mean, he gets them in bunches. He can hit some homers. He can fly. He can run.
He hit 291 last year. Had a very good defensive left fielder. Could play center, but obviously that's occupied. It's a very good Pirates outfield.
Pirates had him in the leadoff spot when he came up and had a good season, but just hasn't been able to make enough contact to be at the top of the order.
Plus they turn to Josh Harrison. 1-1 pitch coming to Starling Marte. A chance for Jeanette. Marte runs well, but Jeanette is able to take care of it, and there are 2 men out.
Now let's check out the Brewers Menards defense. You got Gerardo Parra in center field. Carlos Gomez on the disabled list. Gerardo Parra with a Gold Glove in center, a Gold Glove in left. He's played 147 career games in center field, the 3rd time this year. Brewers need to tighten it up defensively going forward.
Yeah, they've had some early season issues, to be sure, in that department. Well, the Pirates have been just the opposite. They're very tight. Jordy Mercer. 2 men out, and McCutchen the runner at third. Mercer, the everyday shortstop now. Splitting time with Clint Barmas, but now it's Mercer's job for the time being.
Just a matter of whether he's going to hit enough to be able to stay in the lineup every day. He's a terrific defender. Good range, good solid arm over at short.
Ball, 2 strikes. Second start for Nelson, the Brewers minor league pitcher of the year last year. And a follow-up last Saturday's terrific performance with another one tonight. 2-2 the count.
Been fastball, curveball for Nelson. Last year was fastball slider. Hadn't thrown many. Threw a couple of his last start. Just hasn't been able to find the feel for that pitch.
Fastball missed and a full count to Mercer. Nelson got through the first inning in all of 7 pitches. Pirates making him work a little more here in the second as Sean Rodriguez waits on deck. A full count to Mercer. Segura. And Nelson is out of the inning. So the Pirates had a little thread going. Andrew McCutchen Led off with a double and couldn't bring him around. Brewers lead 1-0. Pirates, first of 3 here at PNC Park this weekend. Gene Segura will lead things off. Moves at the top of the order. That's Powerball home run count. Segura last Saturday with a no-doubter.
That's where hangers end up, Matty.
Souvenirs.
Hung the slider and knocked it way back and left. Segura's got good numbers against Vance Worley. Got 3 hits, including that home run, a walk.
Ground ball to second back in the first inning. Yeah, Gene's 3 out of 5 against him coming into this game, including that 2-run blast last Saturday. To right field, that's Polanco. That's out number 1.
Tough break, good at bat. Oh, had some carry on it, some backspin, almost fooled him out there in right field. And watch the way Segura waits back. I mean, good balance at the point of contact, hits it hard, but right at Polanco.
It looked like it might have fooled him just a touch, but still able to make the play rather easily. Here's Jonathan Lucroy.
Looks like a completely different hitter in the early going here this year.
Staying back, right?
Segura, yeah.
Full slate, obviously, after a light schedule yesterday. The big leagues. Big news today in Chicago. Chris Bryant making his debut with the Cubs.
Can you put any more pressure on a kid?
Wow.
I mean, really?
Hit him 4th at Wrigley Field.
I mean, you know, going to each one of his bats on a national network. And
and he struck out 3 times.
Yeah.
Chris Bryant. But
he'll have better days. He can hit.
Will. Very highly touted. Very, very gifted. Jonathan Lucroy is out on strikes. 2 men out here in the 3rd. And now for the Carsoup.com trivia question. Which Pirates player recorded his first major league hit on this day in 1955? Which Pirates player had his first big league hit on this day 60 years ago? Ryan Braun took the touch into the warning track to end the first inning. Well, hitting it to the deepest part of the yard. And there is no breeze to help or hurt the hitter tonight. It's a calm night here in Pittsburgh. By the way, we're talking about that Cubs game. They lost to San Diego. James Shields getting the win. 5-4 Padres victory. The big story, Chris Bryant making his big league debut. Here's the 0-2 to Braun.
Brewers are going to see Chris Bryant and the rest of the Cubs the 1st of May.
Yeah, we'll get a dose of him at Wrigley Field and then soon after at Miller Park. 2-2 to Braun. Worley came over to the Pirates March of last year. Mentioned Worley was the opening day starter for the Twins 2 years ago. Lost to Justin Verlander. The Tigers, a fly ball hit back into right field. Polanco going back near the wall. And he'll make the catch. We said there's just not a lot of carry here tonight. He hit it well.
Time for Braun.
Looking to the track. The Park holds it. Brewers still lead 1-0.
As we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Clint Hurdle, it was early BP today for his team. They came out at 3 o'clock and they went straight through 2.5 hours. First 45 minutes was on the pitching machine, throwing curveballs. That's because if you were surprised by Nelson's success last weekend against Pittsburgh, so was Clint Hurdle. So he wanted to make sure his team was ready. Also, Kyle Loesch going tomorrow as well. So he knows his team's going to see a lot of curveballs. Don't forget, these guys have not scored over their last 2 games either. So they're in desperate need of some offense, but Jimmy Nelson hopes to get in his way.
Yeah, Craig, the last 2+ games, you mentioned they have not scored. They've only scratched out 6 hits.
2 teams looking for offense, so you figure something's going to give in this weekend series. Yeah, the Brewers had early batting practice today as well. Talking to Darnell Coles, about 10 of the Brewer hitters were out.
Pirates last year were 2nd in the National League in on-base percentage. Only the Dodgers had better numbers. Yeah, it's early. Pittsburgh, just like the Brewers, you see hitting coach Darnell Coles is trying to figure some things out, settle some guys down. 0-2 the count to Sean Rodriguez, former Tampa Bay Ray. Bouncing ball to Aramis Ramirez, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, Jimmy getting a lot of ground ball outs, all ground ball outs except for the one punch out. So that 2-seam fastball, that power sinker working and keeping the curveball down in the strike zone.
The only hit given up so far, a leadoff double. The second off the bat of Andrew McCutchen, but he was left stranded at third.
I guess if you lead pitches up in the strike zone, this isn't a bad park to do it.
There's a lot of room here.
Tough to hit homers unless they're down the lines.
A lot of room in this park, a beautiful park.
410 to left center.
Pitcher versus pitcher, 1-1 the count. Jimmy not messing around, a ball, 2 strikes. To center field, Parra, 2 men out.
Hit that one pretty well.
Good.
Hey, head to Miller Park on Sunday, April 26th to get your hands on the first ever Willie Peralta bobblehead. The Brewers play host to the Cardinals, and all fans will get a Willie Peralta bobblehead courtesy of U.S. Cellular. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
Bob Deere bobblehead day last weekend. Willie Peralta having his day. It's good. Back to the top of the order, Josh Harrison. Well, the things they try to get me to say. But I'll let it go.
You're a professional. You're a professional. You're not going to go there.
I'm just not around enough. I just feel like that's hit and run, you know.
Another couple of weeks.
Yeah, punch and run. 0-2 to Harrison. Signed that big contract extension after an all-star year last year. Did he hold up? No. That is strike 3, and the inning is over. Another 1-2-3 frame for Jimmy Nelson. 2-3, 1-0 Milwaukee. Is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Brewers with a 1-0 lead, moving to the top of the 4th inning here in Pittsburgh. And Adam Lind will lead things off. He has scored the game's only run. Walked to start the 2nd. Came around on a ground ball off the bat of Gerardo Parra. Facing Vance Worley, who last year had a couple of starts against the Brewers, one up and one down. A loss at Miller Park in late August and a win 1 month later here at Pittsburgh. 1-0 win. This is hit in the air. And Josh Harrison. Distant foul territory for out number 1.
Yeah, Vance Worley really did a nice job getting the Pirates to the postseason. It was 8 wins, 8-4 in 17 starts last year. Put together some good starts, particularly at the end of the season. His last 7 were very good. Just when the Pirates needed them most.
Yeah, it was a Pirates team that played very well in September, seemingly had momentum going into the wild card round, and then the San Francisco Giants and Madison Bumgarner came to town, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, they ran the table, right?
Sure did. It kind of goes against the grain. You would think the hot team going in would be the one that could go deep into the postseason. There's a ground ball to Harrison. 2 up and 2 down here in the 4th. Tomorrow, MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns with back-to-back American League East showdowns. The Orioles taking on the Red Sox, followed by the Yankees squaring off against the Rays. Coverage starts at 2:30 Central. America's home for baseball every Saturday. Fox Sports 1 and stream live on Fox Sports Go. Okay.
Excellent. You're the best. By the way, nice job and for the Badgers this year. Did a heck of a job. I listened to some of it on the radio.
You were the one. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
That was fun.
Me and the rest of Wisconsin.
That was a fun run.
But good job. How many sports can you do, actually?
Not as many as BA.
No?
He's probably going to call 2 at the same time next week.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm still trying to get this down. I'm not saying I'm a baseball announcer yet. Here's Davis with a base hit to right.
Yeah, just continues to do a real good job of staying on the baseball, Davis. That ball splinters right down the middle. But he's big and strong. That bat speed at the point of contact right off the end, and Davis ends up with a base hit and a broken bat. That's a good exchange. Take that trade any day.
Yes, sir.
A lot of room they're giving him. Continue to give him between first and second. Got to wonder how long the league is going to continue to do that.
Yeah, they may have to play him a little bit more honestly. This continues. Here's Gerardo Parra. Ground ball to second, brought home Lind in the second inning. And that is the only run so far tonight. Davis's offensive production in that spray chart. 7 hits now have gone to right field.
Yeah,
that is.
And not just serving him out there too. He's driving the baseball in that direction. I know he got that broken bat hit, but he's been hitting some balls hard in the gaps and down the line and right. Keeps doing that, they're going to start giving him pitches to pull.
To remind ourselves, last year was his first full year in the big leagues.
Yep.
Still a young guy. 2-0 to Parra. Brewers trying to get a little something going with 2 outs here in the 4th. Adam Lind popped out. There is with a ground ball. Davis extends the inning, and now a 3-0 count to Gerardo Parra. He was on.
He didn't want him, did he?
No, he did not.
Didn't seem like he wanted to throw him any strikes. He preferred to go after a Scooter.
Jeanette was intentionally walked in the second inning. Scooter trying to get things batting averages. A lot of statistics get out of whack here in the early portion of the season. That is just fouled first.
Scooter had a real nice at bat late in the game in St. Louis. Well, with John Lackey, a long at bat, and ended up getting a slider down and in and dumping it into right field. Let's see if that turns things around for him. He's always been good in these spots with men in scoring position.
Oh, 0-1 the count. Really hits the corner, 0-2. Caught the inside corner, strike 3, and that's it for the Brewers here in the 4th. A threat, but nothing more. 3.5. It's 1-0. The Brewers.
Go 1-0 Brewers as we continue here in the 4th inning. The Brewers return home for a 4-game set with the division rivals this Monday, April 20th through Thursday the 23rd, as Joey Votto and the Reds come to town for an early season showdown. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com.
Brewers travel well. Brewer fans making the trip here to Pittsburgh, as Francisco Cervelli gets plunked here to start the bottom half of the 4th.
Yeah, this one not even close. Cervelli getting hit by the pitch. Jimmy hit him back in Milwaukee. He hit him on a curveball back in Milwaukee. I'm not sure what that was. That was a curveball too?
Breaking ball, yeah, I think it was curved.
You don't mind getting hit with curveballs.
No, it's not as bad as maybe something mid-90s.
Right.
Cervelli is on. Lead off the home half of the 4th for Gregory Polanco. Down to Segura in the 1st inning. And he squares the bunt. Fouls it off. Polanco, the right fielder, started in left though for the first time in his big league career Tuesday in the game against the Tigers. Pirates just trying to get a run any way they can right now. So they have been shut out the last 2 games, and they are scoreless through the first 3 here tonight. Talking to some of the Pittsburgh folks, the Tigers came to town, and they think that team may be as good as any in the majors. you look around the league, I don't know if you could say there's a great team.
Right.
Yeah. There's such competitive balance. I mean, you think of the days when you could pick a handful of teams that you thought could win it. Maybe just a handful. And now it's the other way around. Maybe there's a handful, you look at them and you say, nah, not a chance of getting into postseason.
A lot of parity in baseball. I mean, a lot of teams that are bunched up, and whether they have a lot of money or not, it really doesn't matter much these days. Not as much as it used to.
They were talking earlier about the momentum, too, that the Pirates seemingly took into the wild card game. The Giants, with 88 wins in the regular season, won it all. And from June 1st on, they were 3 games below 500. This gets away from Lucroy, and Cervelli will move to second.
Now, eliminates the double play possibility. Of course, Polanco runs pretty well. Not sure if this ball hit the dirt or not. I don't think it did. That's a pass ball from Lucroy. You don't see that very often. Took his eye off of it and back to the screen.
3-1 the count to Polanco. Pirates with a runner in scoring position. Nobody out here in the 4th. There's a shot through into right field, a base hit. Braun charging, and they will not challenge, and that's a good decision as Braun throws a dart to the plate.
That just hit it too hard, and Braun would have had him dead to rights at home plate.
Andrew McCutchen steps in. Time to look at the T-Mobile game changer. See what he has done against the Brewers, and they are impressive. His numbers, period, are impressive. But look at the slugging percentage in the at-bats per home run. Goes deep every 16 times.
Yeah, he knows the Brewers pitching staff because these two teams lock horns quite a bit. That familiarity, and McCutchen takes advantage of it.
Pirates with runners at the corners. Guy you don't want to see. He's at the plate.
Yeah, that was a good throw by Ryan Braun because he hit the cutoff man. Adam Lynn had an opportunity to cut that one off. That's why Polanco had to stay at first base. So a good throw from Ryan Braun, keeping that double play in order.
Hutchin down 2 strikes. Last 17 home games against the Brewers. McCutchen hitting .354, including 3 home runs. So dangerous all around, but especially in more recent games here in Pittsburgh against the Crew.
Well, he's a good player. MVP a couple of years ago. Does well against most teams.
Yes, he does. Get some people to debate it. Mike Trout, Andrew McCutchen, if you're to pick a best player. Some would say McCutchen because of the strikeout total with Trout. Over 180 last year. I mean, it's win-win. You're talking about terrific players.
I'd take either one of them.
Yeah, you're if you have the second pick in that draft, you're doing okay. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Cervelli started the inning, getting hit by a pitch. Polanco singled to right. Pirates threatening to get on the board for the first time since Monday. Polanco is going, and the pitch is fouled off. Pirates trying to get the running game going here a little bit. The team, they've stolen just 3 bases, but 2 of those bags swiped by Polanco. Hurdle trying to Do anything he can. They're great gum chewers in big league history too, as I saw in there.
The best.
Here's the 1-2. Again, this is foul.
That right there is a result of that good curveball for Jimmy Nelson. I mean, that good hard power sinker in on the hands, just not able to get the barrel of the bat on it because back in the back of McCutcheon's mind, he's thinking about that breaking pitch.
McCutcheon missed the middle game of that series last week. He was bothering him. You could certainly tell it Friday night when he came out of the game. He came back on Sunday into a home run that gave his team the lead for good. The game broke wide open in the 9th inning. McCutcheon's 3-run blast in the 6th. It turned a 2-1 Brewers lead into a 4-2 Brewer deficit. Two balls, two strikes. Right on it.
Good battle, huh?
Yes, it is. And pitcher Jimmy Nelson against the established veteran, the star, and Andrew McCutcheon. First of 3 here in Pittsburgh. Back here tomorrow night. Series finale Sunday afternoon. Keep an eye on Polanco. Mentioned McCutcheon, the MVP 2 years ago, 4-time All-Star. With .314 last year. His numbers were very, very good as well a year ago. They always are good.
Yeah. You don't want to spend too much time worrying about Polanco, not with McCutcheon at the plate. You don't want to make a mistake with him.
Ready with a 2-2. Runners going. There's a ground ball to Segura. The run will score. The play is at first, and Polanco on his way to third, and he'll get there. Polanco running on the pitch. Ground ball is short. And he just turned the bag, and a runner at third. This game is tied.
Yeah, not much you can do about that. I mean, the ball was in the hole. Segura really didn't have an opportunity to look back the runner. Make sure he didn't go to third because he had to get the out at first. It was a long throw across the diamond. Polanco on the 2-2 count. He's running. Segura really had no choice to take a look at the runner at second. And those are 2 long throws. By the time the ball gets to third base, Polanco is in safely.
So the Pirates get on the board. Infield in now for Pedro Alvarez. Polanco the runner at third. Alvarez struck out in the 2nd inning. One of 2 strikeout victims so far for Nelson.
Yeah, Alvarez has really had a tough time with that Nelson curveball. Good fastball hitter. Don't expect Jimmy to give him a fastball to hit, given that Alvarez had so much problems with the deuce, the curveball.
1-1. Hot shot, and that is snagged by Ramirez, and it turns into a double play. A line drive, but Aramis Ramirez right there, inning over. Pirates tie the game. We are through 4. At 1. Time now for tonight's Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Aramis Ramirez making a big play here.
Boy, that ball barely in the glove before it hit the ground. If that ball short hops Ramirez, that's a run. As it is, a double play ball to get out of the inning. You know what? Jimmy did give him a fastball, and he hit it hard, didn't he?
He did. It looked like that was ticketed for the left field corner. Ramirez able to make the play, and here's Nelson with a comebacker. Worley knocks it down, and he's out number 1. There's a contact.
If it gets over his head, it might be a base hit.
One out here in the 5th. Here's Gene Segura. Looking for his first hit tonight. Ground ball to second, a fly ball to right. Came in hitting pretty well. 323 coming in, but mentioned early in the year a couple of at-bats that don't go your way, and that average a drop in a hurry. But Rock, as you were talking, his ability to stay back. I mean, you're seeing an improved Gene Segura. Keep thinking of the first half of 2013.
Right. Same guy.
Yep.
Got away from him last year or so. Darnell Cole's working a lot with Segura in spring training, and he's been able to keep it up in the regular season.
Siggy had a lot going on last year, obviously. Losing his child early July, a couple of injuries. Another young player who had a lot to deal with on and off the field.
Yep.
2-2 the count.
They're human beings. They have a lot of things going on around them that have nothing to do with baseball.
Saturday night, Segura took Worley deep, 2-run homer.
And it was a breaking pitch that he knocked out of the ballpark.
Two. Now runs full. Worley has struck out 5. He has served up 3 walks, 1 intentional. Here's the payoff. Back up the middle. And there's the first hit of the night for Gene Segura.
Example of what we're talking about. Last year he's drifting. He probably rolls over on it. Probably be an easy 5-3 put out, but you stay back. You're able to get it back in the zone, and he hits it hard into center field. Back-to-back at bats for Segura where he hits the baseball hard. This time to center field. Last time lined out to right. That's just a nice swing. Good balance, staying back. Hits it hard into center field. Sounds easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's not. Especially when you've been struggling. Toughest thing to do is trust yourself, stay back, not panic, but most do. Try too hard and things just kind of snowball out of control.
See if things can get back in control at the plate for Lucroy.
And Luke just looks like he's pressing up there. Realizing how important he is to this offense. He's got to get on base.
In the hole, and that gets by Mercer, a base hit. And the Brewers with back-to-back one-out hits here in the 5th.
Man, hung that one up in the zone, that breaking pitch. Segura hit a breaking ball. It was down in his zone into center field. Watch where this one ends up. Right down the middle, and Lucroy gets it out of the reach of Mercer. It's short and into left field. Well, now the Brewers are set up nicely with 1 out.
Another opportunity coming up for Ryan Braun as Lucroy. First base coach Mike Guerrero. Well, Braun has gone to the track twice here already. The center field in the first. Into the wall and right to end the third.
A couple more feet each time. He's got a couple of homers. Baseball does not carry very well in this ballpark.
No, and there is no breeze tonight. Threat here for the Brewers in the fifth. Go back to last year, right about this very weekend, middle of April last year. These two teams hooked up in a 4-game series. Ryan Braun had a big role in 2 of those Brewer wins. A home run, a 2-run shot in the 9th on Saturday, and then a solo blast in the 9th the following day. It was a game the Brewers went on to win in 14 innings, and on both occasions, Jason Grilli, the then closer, was the victor.
Yeah. I remember well.
The series had everything.
The Brewers couldn't do anything wrong in that stretch. Everything working for them. They're grinding through it right now.
Yeah, they took 3 out of 4 and won one of those games despite committing 4 errors. To your point, even when things aren't going well, they end up turning around, and it's just fine.
Yeah. And you win those games, you don't talk much about the errors.
No, you don't. 2-strike pitch. And this could be trouble. 4-6-3. Inning over. Threat goes by the boards. Dennis Worley gets a double play ground ball from Ryan Braun. Halfway through, we're tied at 1.
Pittsburgh. Shatterproof will host the Shatterproof Challenge in downtown Milwaukee, where approximately 80 participants will rappel down the side of the Hilton Hotel. At Miller Park, Brewers Community Foundation will present a grant to the organization. Shatterproof staff will be at Miller Park distributing literature to raise awareness for the cause. To learn more about the event, go to shatterproof.org. Jimmy Nelson back out on the hill. Asked Ron Renicky before the game, since he's making consecutive starts against the Pirates, who might have the advantage, Pirate hitters or him, and he said, well, Nelson, if he's got the confidence, he should have confidence after that win the other day, and it's always going to come down to his command. He says if he has command, especially of that curveball, it's not just against the Pirates, he'll beat anybody.
Well, he's off to another good start tonight. I mean, he's given a 1 run through 4 innings.
Just 2 hits.
Well, you'll take that any day.
Yes, sir. Starling Marte, Jordy Mercer, Sean Rodriguez. Here in the Pirates' half of the 5th inning. This is popped up and out of play. Talking about this Central Division stretch the Brewers are on. Cubs stepped out of the division, but the Reds and Cardinals opening a weekend series in St. Louis. We'll see Cincinnati in Milwaukee on Monday, and then the Cardinals next weekend at Miller Park.
There's that slider from Jimmy Nelson, one of the few he's thrown tonight.
Get all three working. He really got something going.
Yeah.
1-2 to Marte. Broken his bat, a roller to Jeanette, trying to barehand it, but he'll be unable to make the play, and Marte is off.
It would have been a base hit anyway with the way Marte runs. Even if he gets it in the bare hand, I don't think he's able to get enough on it to get him at first. Another good pitch for Jimmy Nelson. He just eats up Marte on the inside corner. Boy, that's a nice pitch, but able to roll it by Nelson, and no chance for Jeanette.
Hit number 3 for the Pirates. There's Jordy Mercer to the plate. Ground ball to Segura to wrap up the second inning. The Pirates get their leadoff man aboard for the 3rd time tonight. So far, just the 1 run to show for it. Cutchin led off the second with a double, was left stranded at third. Francisco Cervelli was hit by a pitch to start the 4th. He came around to score eventually. Now Marte with an infield single.
Yeah, Marte not afraid to take off and run. He's got good speed. And Jimmy relatively slow to home plate. Gonna have to figure out a way to keep Marte close.
You see, he can be had. He had 30 steals last year, got caught 11 times. He was cut down 15 times 2 years ago. Stole 41. He's on the move now. Pitch is taken to throw to second. No chance. Stolen base for Starling Marte.
Even a throw right on the money is not going to be in time for Lucroy. That wasn't even close at second base. That high leg kick, and by the time he gets rid of it, Marte with a terrific jump and steals it easily. And he got a curveball to run on.
Easy money for Marte to get second. 0-2 to Mercer. Fastball missed. Brewers lone run coming in the second. Pirates got on the board in the 4th. Threatening here in the home half of the 5th. One and two the count. Mercer went 3 for 7 in the series last weekend against the Brewers. 0 for 1 tonight. There's a ground ball to Jeanette.
That was a nice job by Mercer right there to get Marte over to third base. Had a high breaking pitch and just kind of served it out in that direction. Didn't try and pull it. Able to advance the base runner. That was a slider, not a bad one at that, and Mercer able to put a bat on it and get Marte to third base.
Mercer gets the job done. Runner at third with 1 out. Sean Rodriguez. He's that label of super utility player. In the big leagues, he's played everywhere but pitcher and catcher. Infield is in. And that is hit into center field, a base hit, and the Pirates take the lead.
I think somebody missed a sign. Marte took off. I think Rodriguez was supposed to drop down a bunt, a squeeze. Third base coach was looking into the dugout. This looked like a peculiar play, but Rodriguez able to get the base hit into center field. Watch it. Well, you're not going to be able to see it there. Breaking pitch. Stays back. There he goes. I think he missed a sign, but he drove in the run anyway.
Yep. Coming home? Nope. Yep. Yeah, will. Pirates grab the lead. Vance Worley, the hitter, squares around, bunting opportunity. Down a strike. One out and one on. Two bunt attempts, and now Worley is down 0-2.
Does that mean it's going to be nice tomorrow?
Lighting up the city of Pittsburgh, yeah. Runners going. And bunting through it. They throw down to second, not in time. Worley strikes out, but another stolen base. This one, Sean Rodriguez.
He had 3 stolen bases in the last 2 innings. Got a breaking pitch to run on and gets in there easily. The Pirates a very aggressive running ball club.
Runner at second with 2 men out. 3 strikeouts now for Jimmy Nelson tonight. Back to the top of the order in Josh Harrison. Harrison had that all-star year last year. Played a variety of positions. Now settled in at third. Only Justin Morneau had a better batting average in the National League. Harrison hit .315, Morneau .319. Harrison last year played left and right field, second base, shortstop.
And hit no matter where he was,
yes,
right?
He did.
Off to a little bit of a slow start. But he's got a nice 4-year contract under his belt, not to worry.
Nephew of John Shelby, as many Brewer fans know. One and one the count. Line drive and a base hit to left. Here comes Rodriguez and make it 3-1 Pittsburgh. Harrison a 2-out RBI single.
Hung a curveball at 0-2. Can't do that. Actually a 1-2 pitch. That went up in his eyes, and not a very good pitch that time by Jimmy. And Harrison takes advantage of it. And a 2-run inning for the Pirates.
Rick Kranitz, the Brewers pitching coach, with a quick chat with his pitcher, Jimmy Nelson, and we talked about it, Rock, the game of adjustments. Cat, mouse, chess match, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The Pirates have seen him now, going back to last week.
Well, the Pirates haven't hit any of the good curveballs. Nobody really hits the good ones. It's the hangers now that the Pirates are able to center on.
Well, the team that you figure is as good as the Pirates would appear to be offensively. You go through a couple of shutouts and you just figure that it's going to be unlikely to last. Pirates picked up a run in the fourth. They put 2 more on the board in the fifth.
And they've got one of their best hitters on the bench tonight.
Neil Walker not getting the start, getting the night off. Francisco Cervelli at the plate. The Pirates aggressive on the bases. Nelson aware as he checks Harrison. Runners going. Pitch out, throw down to second, and he's out at second. Lucroy cuts him down, and the inning is over. Well, they keep on running, and this time the Brewers are ready for it. Lucroy turns him back. Pirates pick up a couple of runs here in the fifth. The Brewers stop the rally. Throw out at second. 3-1 Pittsburgh. We move on to the top half of the sixth inning. Time now for the Carsuit.com trivia question. Which Pirates player recorded his first major league hit on this day back in 1955? Roberto Clemente.
Yeah, one of the best. Certainly one of the best right fielders of all time. Maybe the best throwing arm of all time.
Just going to say that. Anybody trying to take an extra base, that was extreme risk.
Of course, the best right-handed hitter of all time, Hank Aaron. But Roberto Clemente not far behind.
There's a great book written about Clemente a few years ago by David Marinus, a Pulitzer Prize winner. He's documented his life as you look at the numbers from one of the all-time greats, the Hall of Famer, Roberto Clemente.
12 gold gloves out in right field.
MVP award.
Had exactly 3,000 hits in his career.
Yes. His final at bat, regular season at bat in 1972. Tragically died on New Year's Eve of '72. Plane crash trying to help victims of a disaster in Nicaragua. Adam Lynn strikes out to start the top half of the sixth. Let's punch out number 6 for Vance Worley. Ramos Ramirez to the plate. Now, Clemente was, for those old enough to remember, he was about as exciting a player as there was in an era that had a few of them.
Could do anything, right?
He could.
He can run, hit for power, hit for average.
Fly ball to right, routine for Gregory Polanco, 2 men out.
And he's got a nice bridge named after him out there in center field.
Yes, he does.
The Roberto Clemente Bridge. That's the way we get back to the hotel every night. There it is.
Yep, that's our path.
They shut it down to traffic before and after and during games.
With that, and then over in right field, the Clemente wall, right? 21 feet high over in right. Chris Davis with a couple of singles to right field tonight. Actually, a double to right and then a single to right in the fourth.
You think about all the great outfielders in that era, right? Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Roberto Clemente, Mickey Mantle.
You had a few.
I mean, it was an incredible era of baseball.
1-1 to Davis. Yeah, to be sure, they had great teams here in Pittsburgh and then went through that 20-year drought of postseason play before getting in here in each of the last 2 years. You see those championship pennants. That's a part of a couple of those. Not those, but if you keep sweeping, there you go. We Are Family 79 Pirates. Stargell and company. Bouncing ball fouled third.
We were talking about this being the 15th year of PNC Park. It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it still looks new. Not that long ago, they were at the Three Rivers Stadium. 15 years here.
It's one of the great venues. The one thing that, well, a lot of things have struck me, but maybe above all else, just the beautiful ballparks throughout baseball. And of course, that includes Miller Park. So carry out of play. But those days of the cookie cutter ballparks are over.
Yeah.
Three Rivers Stadium.
Multi-purpose stadiums.
Yeah. Veteran Stadium in Philadelphia, Riverfront in Cincinnati. Done a great job throughout Major League Baseball of preserving history and giving you all the modern amenities. This is a terrific place to watch a game. Back up the middle, and that's through a base hit, and Chris Davis is 3 for 3 tonight.
Yeah, 2 hits to right, 1 hit to center field. And just seeing the baseball well. Look at that. Only 1 hit to the pull side for Davis. 1 of his 11 hits have been pulled to left field. That's a pretty good spray chart. He's going to start taking notice. Pitch out away from, didn't try and pull it, waits back and hits it hard into center field. Seems as though Rodriguez wasn't shaded up the middle as much that time. I mean, he was thinking right field, and Davis beat the shift.
Gerardo Parra. It'll be interesting to see, not just with Davis, but throughout baseball, with all the talk, and because it's been happening, all the defensive shifting going on, and these two teams do it as much as just about anybody. And that's part of the adjustment process that hitters now have to go through throughout baseball. Not only do you have a lot of flame-throwing relief pitchers to deal with, but defensive shifting, it is tough.
Not many hitters make that adjustment, though.
That's hard.
You know, they want to get up there, they want to hit home runs, and you know the defenses are set based on where they hit the ball hard the most. And when you start looking at Chris Davis's spray chart, I mean, he's driving the ball to the opposite field and into center field. They're going to have to make an adjustment, and that's going to help him out even more. Going to open up a lot more holes in that infield.
It's fun to watch. You know he has power capabilities, but he's using the entire field, and especially center and right. 1-1 to Parra. It's in there 1-2.
Yeah, you certainly can't say that Chris Davis is a pull hitter so far this year.
No.
You could say that early last year for sure. He's starting to be more comfortable up there in the batter's box. That comes with experience.
Ball 2 strikes to Gerardo Parra. That's it in the air to right. Polanco going back, and that is off the wall. Rounding third is Davis, being waved in. He will score, and it's an RBI double for Gerardo Parra.
Yeah, hammered that one. Boy, you got to pitch out over the plate, and Polanco got a little bit too close to the wall and squirted by him, and Davis, because of that, was able to score. Yeah, so the Brewers able to flex their muscles and drive a double off of the right field fence. Yeah, Worley knew he made a mistake, and Parra with a nice short stroke able to knock that one off the fence. Yeah, fastball. And he rattles it off of that chain link fence out there. Worth another look, brought to you by Columbia St. Mary's.
Pulls the Brewers to within a run. The Pirates now, for the second time tonight, will intentionally walk Scooter Gennett. First base open and 2 men out.
The Brewers have activity down in that bullpen, and looks like Ron Renneke wants to go to the bench.
Hector Gomez.
A short start for Jimmy Nelson.
Jeremy Jeffress getting loose. So the Brewers with runners at first and second and 2 men out. Hector Gomez had a pretty good weekend against the Pirates. Miller Park was 3 for 5. Scouting report again, I would think.
Yeah, former Brewer Ray Searage limping on out to home to the mound. He's got an Achilles problem.
Cool.
Talked to Ray back in Milwaukee. He said did it in the offseason. He was actually in a walking boot in spring training. And just going over what Hector Gomez, the straight charts on him, where you want to pitch him.
Meeting is done. Yeah, he's laboring a little bit.
Yeah. But he's not rubbing it, is he?
No. Yep. See the pitch count for Vance Worley. Hector Gomez is a pinch hitting role. He started last Saturday night's game against Worley. Had a couple of doubles in that ball game. The Brewers won 6-0.
Which is why he's up there right now.
Gomez down a strike. Brewers with 2 on and 2 out here in the 6th. And that's hit in the air, right center field. Polanco on the run. He has it tracked and the inning is over. The Brewers push across a run here in the 6th. They lead 3-2 Pittsburgh. Yours stay now. 3-2 Pirates moving to the bottom of the 6th. Folks, the NBA playoffs start tomorrow, and your home for the Bucks playoffs is Fox Sports Wisconsin. Here's the schedule for the first round coverage against the Bulls. Reminder, there's a special 1 hour Bucks Live pregame show before every game. Tomorrow, the Brewers are on the Fox Sports Wisconsin alternate channel. Check out foxsportswisconsin.com for all the channel listings. Good luck to the Bucks back into the postseason. Some serious work, Jason Kidd and company. Won 15 games last year, and now here they are to the postseason. Jeremy Jeffress now on the mound here for the Crew.
Well, pitch yesterday, gave up a hit in the third of an inning of work, gave up a run. You see his earned run average at about a little less than 4, and appearance number 7 here tonight. Has not allowed any home runs.
Francisco Cervelli. His run that he scored in the fourth ended the long drought Pirates had. For the games they were shut out. Had nothing for the first 3 innings tonight, but he started the fourth being hit by a pitch and eventually came around to score on a ground ball from Andrew McCutchen. Cervelli getting his chance to be the regular catcher here for the Pirates. Battled injuries, going to back up.
A good solid defensive catcher. He'll get some hits for you, can run. But they are going to miss Russell Martin in a big way.
Yeah,
I mean, he was one of the glues to this whole thing here in Pittsburgh.
Now with the Blue Jays. 1-1 the count. A.J. Burnett, who was back with the Pirates after being with the Phillies last year, he came out earlier in the week and was very complimentary regarding Cervelli and his work behind the plate, how he handles pitchers. Burnett very happy to be back here in Pittsburgh. Brewers will not see him this weekend.
Yeah, lefty tomorrow, then Garrett Cole.
Everybody thought Jeff Locke was going to pitch tonight. The Pirates.
Everybody but the Pirates, everybody thought that they changed their pitching rotation, which they did, but they did it like a long time ago, but didn't tell anybody.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, the Brewers had to change around their lineup accordingly tonight. There were some guys who were going to have a day off, at least a couple. And Cervelli is out on strikes.
There's a good heavy two-seamer right there for Jeremy Jeffress. Good velocity and good movement. Well, when he throws strikes, he's tough. Check out this pitch. Ends up off the inside corner. And it had plenty of the plate when he let it go. Yeah, Clint Hurdle apparently didn't inform the Pirates media relations team.
And they're pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
Well, some nights that, or a night that might have been off for a couple of the Brewers, well, that changed. Found out this afternoon that Vance Worley would in fact be tonight's starting pitcher. Gregory Polanco. Everybody knows that Jeffress can bring it. I think that foul tip got Lucroy a bit.
Once a night, whether he wants to or not.
So you feel real good about that first day in camp, right, as a catcher?
Yeah. Best day you're going to feel. Best you're going to feel all year. You got him right on the foot.
It's one of those looks again.
That's kind of the way every player is, though. I mean, the day you show up to spring training is downhill from there.
1-1 to Polanco. Shoots one down the line, and that is a fair ball. Davis will play it off the carom, and it's a double for Polanco. That's his second hit of the night.
Oh, that's a good piece of hitting by that kid. Well, he stayed right on it. That two-seam was tailing away from him, trying to get off the corner. Well, he just stays right on and gets on top of it and hits it hard down that left field line. That's a nice piece of hitting by the young lefty, and he's got enough speed to get into second base.
Here's Andrew McCutchen. Yeah, Polanco was running after reaching for a base hit in the fourth. And on a ground ball to short, Polanco kept motoring and around to third. Fortunately for the Brewers, Pedro Alvarez lined into a double play right after that. McCutchen with a double back in the second inning. Batting in the cleanup spot tonight. It's only the 29th time in his career he's been in that part of the order. Last time he was June of 2013, he did homer.
I'll keep an eye on Polanco. He might steal third base. He's looking like he's itching down over there at second. Of course, if you're in scoring position with McCutchen up and you take off, you better make it. Got to keep him close, though. Scooter's trying to. He's right behind second base.
0-2 the count to McCutchen. 1 in at 97, but missed away. McCutchen with a couple of homers this season. He has driven in 7 going into tonight's game. Brewers have fared well against the Pirates, or certainly they did last year, winning 12 of the 19 games against Pittsburgh. With the exception of 2 years ago, they have performed well against the Pirates almost every year in the last several.
Yeah, long stretch of winning games against Pittsburgh, particularly at home.
Fastball is fouled off. If this is the first time you're watching the Pirates, you'll notice the haircut that McCutchen has. Jared Hughes getting loose in the Pirates bullpen. McCutchen cut off the locks back in March, all part of charity. He is down on strikes. That is the second strikeout here for Jeffress and the 5th for Brewers pitching.
Well, that's a heck of a curveball right there from Jeremy Jeffress. Slider, whatever you want to call it, and he completely fooled Andrew McCutchen, and that's not easy to do. That is about as defensive a swing as you'll see from him. And he was surprised by that pitch, and it was a strike.
That was nasty.
Yes, it was. Had a big break on it, had something on it.
Pedro Alvarez. For a flash, he thought he had a double his last trip. It turned into a line drive that was snared by Aramis Ramirez. He was able to double off Gregory Polanco into the 4th. Alvarez 0 for 2 tonight. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what happened.
So am I.
Maybe he lost the grip on the baseball, or kind of caught a cleat on the mound. Let's see. I'm not sure.
It was stuck in his hand.
He just decided not to throw it for some reason. Obviously a balk.
Yep.
Can't do that.
I only saw a few things here last April. A cover come off a ball. The Roy Hobbs moment. 1-1 to the Pirates' first baseman.
And I saw a phantom pitch.
You just never know.
No.
Jeffress trying to keep his team within a run. I say Alvarez held up. Brewers will have the top of the order in the 7th. Segura at the top of that order.
Yeah, put him on. Why not, right? Go after the right-hander Marte, who's on deck. I'm just surprised he didn't do that from the beginning.
We'll go ahead and work with the runners at the corners against Starling Marte, who had an infield hit his last trip.
Ron Reineke does not like to issue intentional walks.
He'll break that trend, and now Marte, 2 outs and 2 on. It's a big moment here. It's a ways to go, but One-run game, 2 men on. You see those numbers for Marte at the bottom of the screen. You know he's a much better hitter than that. .291 in 2014. That's a heater in there for strike one.
It's such a free and easy delivery for Jeremy Jeffress. That ball just explodes out of his hand.
You hear it pop, don't you?
With something on it. I mean, he's got something on it, and he's got good movement.
A roller past Ramirez, but Segura's there, and the play is at second. And the Brewers are out of trouble here in the 6th. Brewers 6-2.
Tonight's hammer of the game winner, Twisted Tap in New Holstein, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Light Beer Pen tickets. Can I start over? 40 Miller Light Beer Pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. My apologies to my friends at Miller Coors.
It happens, man.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Doesn't happen to you, though.
Oh, yeah, it does. Trust me, it does.
Jared Hughes on for the 6th time this year. Hughes has been with the Pirates since 2011. The sinker slider pitcher.
Top of the order for the Brewers, Gene Segura. First pitch swinging, backhanded by Mercer, and the throw to first is in time. Nice play.
Yeah, that is. Nice hands. Good soft hands going backhand. And enough fault with the arm to get the out at first. Thought that might be a base hit, but look at the way Mercer's able to pick that short hop on the backhand and get off a good throw to first.
There's a good story this week on Mercer. He had a big error in a game 2 years ago against the Reds. It opened the door for a Reds comeback, and this is when the Pirates were fighting for a playoff spot that they eventually got. But since that game on September 20th, 2013, Mercer has not had a throwing game. It's covering 100 and now 49 games.
Amazing, isn't it?
That's impressive.
Well, when your shortstop is that consistent, you know your team is going to have good defense. You're going to be good defensively. A lot of ground balls, and then there's another one to Mercer.
And still not committing that throwing error. 2 men out.
Pirates have committed only 2 errors this year. After being the worst defensive team in the National League a year ago.
Yeah, they've cleaned it up and then some adjustments with Pedro Alvarez moving over to first. Josh Harrison, the third baseman. Here's Ryan Braun. 4-6-3 double play. He grounded into his last trip in the 5th. Let's take a look at the Brewers home run leaderboard from last year, presented by Powerball. Ryan with 19 of them. Putting a couple here in mid-April of 2014 that helped win a couple of games for the Brewers.
It'd be nice to hit a few home runs so we can start talking about this year's homers. Brewers only have 3 this year.
Yeah, you have to think that there's going to be a game where they're going to get 3, and then the next game is going to be 3 more.
I keep thinking it's going to be the game you're getting ready to start every day. These guys can hit. They just haven't been able to put much together so far. Another good pitching performance today.
Adam Lind waiting on deck. 1-2 pitch coming to Ryan Braun. In the air to center. No problem for McCutchen. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jared Hughes and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bottom of the 7th we go. 3-2. Buccos. To 2 every weeknight. Don't miss MLB Whip Around on Fox Sports 1 with highlights, instant analysis, and live look-ins from around the league. MLB Whip Around weeknight 6 o'clock Central on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Jeremy Jeffress getting ready for his 2nd inning of work. Relief of Jimmy Nelson, who went the first 5. He's had a couple of punch-outs in the 6th. He'll face the bottom of the order, Pittsburgh. Beginning with Jordy Mercer. A ground ball to short and a ground ball to second. Jeffress bringing the heat for strike 1. Foul ball. 0-2 the count. Here we go again. Another close game. That's another byproduct of scoring being down. We can talk about the Brewers and Pirates struggles, but it's going on almost throughout baseball. Maybe 2 or 3 exceptions.
Right.
With that, you're going to have a lot of games just like this. 1-run affairs.
Well, good pitching, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, some good arms in baseball these days. Jimmy Nelson with a nice start. Jeremy Jeffress with a scoreless inning. I'm looking in the dugout. I'm not sure what the deal is, but Lucroy and Jeffress got together looking in the Brewers dugout. on a 0-2 count.
Whatever the issue is, they play on. Jeffress ready to go to work. Broken bat. And this is going to be a tough play for Ramirez, and he will not get it. I mean, that bat just flat shattered. But in the box score, it looks like a screamer. Leadoff man aboard.
Man, I'd say a good pitch by Jeffress, and Rami had a little bit of a late break going after it. And once that ball hit the ground, it took a little bit of a spin. It was spinning very peculiarly. When it hits the ground, it takes a very strange hop. Look how far down on the handle Mercer makes contact. You see Ramirez behind the bag. Really doesn't go after it very hard. I mean, he's planning on playing out on a hop all the way. I think if he keeps going, he catches it in the air.
I wonder if he got distracted a bit by that part of the bat that broke off. Not sure.
Could have been, because I think if he goes hard after it.
Rodriguez trying to bunt, has to protect himself.
Wow.
And he makes contact.
I mean, how did that happen? That was self-defense.
A self-defense sacrifice bunt. Wow.
I mean, if he doesn't bunt this baseball, I think he hits him right in the face.
Yeah, I think you're right.
My goodness. Yeah, it would have hit him in the head. He's able to get it down. Not only does he get a bat on it, but he executes the bunt perfectly. He said, I'm not sure. I never saw it.
He's okay, and he's fortunate. Job done. He's very fortunate. Sacrifice works. Mercer the runner at second. Andrew Lambeau announced as the pinch hitter, so Rick Kranitz getting the scouting report relayed to Jeremy Jeffress. You see Lambeau in search of his first hit. Appeared in 21 games in the big leagues last year. A grand total of 39 at-bats.
He's got some pop in his bat. Down in the minor leagues, he had some pretty good power. It's a similar story with a lot of young players. I mean, they come up to the big leagues, they don't play, and just are not able to stay sharp.
Hit 11 homers for Indianapolis. AAA Indianapolis last year. Got 18 the year before in just 62 games. Here's bullpen starting to get active again. Or staying active, I should say. 1-1 to Lambeau. Holds up, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Another good block by Luke. Michael Blazek getting loose.
Two-one. Fastball misses away and upstairs. Jordy Mercer, the runner at second. And Lambeau is on. So the Pirates have runners at first and second as the lineup turns over.
And it's not so much that Jeremy Jeffress is trying to work the corners all that much. I mean, it's just a matter at times the ball just moves too much. I mean, too much movement on his fastball. Ends up missing the corners. That's why with Jeffress on the mound, you're not going to see Lucroy really hanging on the corners too much. You don't have to with that movement. Josh
Harrison. RBI single for Harrison back in the 5th. 2-run inning for Pittsburgh. Really the difference in the game right now. A 3-2 lead for the Pirates. We approach another significant moment here in this tight game.
Yeah, they all seem to be significant when you're not scoring, right?
Sure does.
Every inning.
It's a lot of pressure on that pitching staff.
Yeah.
There's a ground ball. Jeanette, the stop, and the play is at first. Runners advance. 2 men out here in the 7th.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Scooter. He was shaded up the middle and double play depth. Got a good jump on it, smothered it, and was able to get the out at first base. See where Jeanette actually scooted over. That's a pretty good job by Jeanette. He was in double play depth, saw what the pitch was, and then kind of moved over into the hole a little bit, and that saved the run. Good play.
Circle that, you hope. Jeffress 2/3 of the way of getting out of this. Here's Francisco Cervelli. Oh for 2 was hit by a pitch in the 4th. Little check swing, charging Jeanette. Jeffress, in fact, does work out of trouble in the 7th. Pirates leave a pair. 3-2 Pittsburgh. Original Light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Time for the Brewers to go to work. 3-2 Pittsburgh. Brewers come calling in the top half of the 8th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Milwaukee Brewers, LLC. Tony Watson now on the mound. The second time that Clint Hurdle's gone to his bullpen tonight.
Yeah, 5th year for Watson with the Pirates. A terrific season a year ago. 10-2 out of the bullpen. A 163 earned run average, and check this out, 78 appearances. You know, a 3-run home run already this year. That's why you see that earned run average at 4.5.
Yeah, 78 appearances matches or matched the workload that Will Smith had for the Brewers.
It's usually lefties, right?
Yes, sir.
With all those appearances.
First All-Star appearance for Watson last year. He's ahead on Adam Lynn, 0-2. Lynn walked and scored in the second. Popped to third in the fourth. Struck out his last trip. Brewers with runs in innings 2 and 6. Even one to tie here in the 8th, and there's a softly hit chopper, and the play at first is in time.
Yeah, pretty good play right there by Josh Harrison, huh?
Yep.
The third baseman playing up the middle, comes in and shovels it with the glove. There's Harrison behind the pitcher. That's the shift that Clinton Herter likes to incorporate, and playing a little lacrosse.
Yes, sir.
That's a long little flip from the glove over to first base. A lot of bad things can happen there, but able to pull it off.
And made it look fairly easy.
Yeah.
There's a Ramos Ramirez. Looking to get going. Not just tonight, but period. Two balls, no strikes. See if Ramos could get on board, because Chris Davis, who's behind him, is someone the Pirates have yet to retire.
Yeah, there's a pitch that Ramirez usually drives somewhere. We've been saying a lot of that, haven't we? With the Brewers at the plate, missing pitches that they ordinarily hit hard.
Jonathan Broxton up in the Brewers bullpen. Ramirez will lift this out of play. Playing in his final season. He spent a lot of time in this ballpark. He's known nothing but the National League Central. He has put together some very good career numbers. Looking to get things cranked up right now.
It just seems a little bit behind the fastball, a little bit out in front of the curveball, the off-speed stuff.
Two balls, two strikes.
Pulled a string on him with a changeup.
Just did get a piece.
And just did, as you mentioned, stay alive.
Watson has that good combo. He can get you mid-90s, and then throws that changeup.
Sinker, slider, changeup. More changeups than sliders to right-handed hitters. A lot of sliders to the lefties.
And again, the 2-2. And Ramirez has worked it full. Here comes the payoff.
And look at Ramos. He's just talking to himself up there. Had one right down the middle. Well, you wonder if Ramirez reaches, if Ron Renneke's going to pinch run. Got some speed on the bench. You got Logan Schaefer. First things first, get on first.
Set the table for Chris Davis. He waits on deck. To right field toward the line, and Polanco will have a play. 2 men out. Struggles continue for Aramis Ramirez.
And he's getting some decent pitches ahead. It's not like they're making tough pitches on him. They are at times, but in that at bat he had some pitches down the middle.
Time for our Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game, and this was Chris Davis working the other way, not once but twice, and then goes to center field.
He's staying on the baseball very well, seeing it well, waiting back and hitting it where it's pitched.
3-4-3.
Average up to 324.
It's the 10th game of the year for the Brewers. Davis has started in 9 of them, and in each of those 9 starts, he has reached safely, as he has done 3 times tonight.
Well, 2-0 here. What are you looking for? Something middle end, something you can knock out of here. 2 outs, nobody on.
Yeah, if he wants to pull one into the left field seats, this would be a good time to do it. Setting up away. And a healthy cut. Davis, one of those guys you think can get you 25+ home runs.
Yeah, they're not going to give him anything to pull, are they? Everything away. Did make a pitch on the inside part of the plate, but it was way off the corner.
Cervelli again setting up away. And the count is full.
Change up on a 3-1 count. Really didn't want him, did he? If he missed with it, so be it. Go get the next guy. Got a left-hander on deck.
It'll be Gerardo Parra. And Davis goes down swinging. After a changeup, Watson pours one in at 94, and it's a 1-2-3 frame. Still 3-2 Pittsburgh.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Hey, at Miller Park, every Monday is a Miller High Life Monday. Terrace Reserve tickets are just $9 for all Monday home games, including this Monday, April 20th, as the Brewers kick off their homestand against the Reds. For tickets, visit brewers.com/highlife.
Jonathan Broxton now in for the Crew.
You see the numbers for Broxton. He gave up a 2-run home run back on the first series of the year back at home, but has been pretty good since in appearance number 5.
And he will face Gregory Polanco. Start the bottom of the 8th inning. Talk about that Red Series. Cincinnati and St. Louis are tied at 1 in the 6th. St. Louis, it's a good matchup. Michael Wacha and Johnny Cueto. Earlier today, the Cubs fell to the Padres 5-4. Chris Bryant in his big league debut struck out 3 times, took an offer, but that's what you're going to be hearing about if you have not been paying any attention today. That's pretty much all you're going to hear tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you just feel bad for the kid. I mean, a lot of pressure. Didn't put it on himself.
Welcome to the big leagues. You face James Shields and your batting cleanup.
All the hype these days, these young players. 23 years old for Bryant.
I think Polanco can relate to some extent. There was a lot of conversation about him at this time last year when he was still not with the big club. Polanco with a couple of hits tonight. Down 0-2 to Broxton. Scoots him back. Top of the 9th, the Brewers will have Parra, Jeanette, and a pinch hitter. It's Mark Melanson. It's loose. Broxton's job is to keep this thing close. And this is past a diving Ramirez. A base hit and the 3rd knock of the night for Polanco.
Man, just fisted that one out into left field. Had Ramirez off the line, but just couldn't get there in time. Dove for it. He went under his gloves. You better look at it right here. Little fish shot. Ramirez tried to get there, just a little bit too late.
So with Polanco aboard, here's Andrew McCutchen. Top of the double, he's grounded to short, brought in a run, and struck out in the 6th. Big swing and a miss.
And you figure Polanco might try and steal again. Takes a while for Broxton to uncoil and get rid of it. He's already got 1 stolen base tonight. Actually, no, it was a balk.
He was running on a ground ball to short when he was at first, and he was able to go all the way around to 3rd. He's back in the 4th inning. Yeah, Polanco back in the 6th, doubled, and then Jeremy Jeffress. The ball never left his hand. He wanted to pull back and went through the delivery. Polanco was able to move to 3rd in the balk. 1-strike pitch coming to Andrew McCutchen. In the air to center, tracking it is Parra. Out number 1.
Yeah, Broxton able to elevate that fastball just enough to have McCutchen not able to get enough extension. A little bit down on the handle and an easy play for Gerardo Parra.
This Brewers pitching staff, if you just look at just the numbers, it'll fool you. This group, this bullpen, in general, they've done what they can to try to keep this team in these ball games. A couple of games blew up. Opening day last Sunday against the Pirates, a game that was really tight, and then Pittsburgh put 6 on the board in the 9th to turn it into a blowout. But really, Jimmy Nelson solid tonight.
Yeah, those 6 runs the Pirates scored all unearned.
Pedro Alvarez, a 1-0 count. Alvarez had extra bases taken away in the 4th inning on a line drive snagged by Ramirez, turned it into an unassisted double play. Was able to get Polanco off third. Can't blame him for checking Polanco.
Yeah, keep him close, right?
Pirates 2 for 3 as a team tonight. Trying to steal. Josh Harrison was cut down. Pitch out. And the runner's going. Pitch is taken outside, and the throw down goes through into center field. And Polanco on his way to third. Part of the throw, not in time. What speed can do to you.
Yeah, that's Johnny Lucroy just trying to make up for a good jump. And that's ordinarily what happens when a catcher tries to make up for a jump. You don't get yourself squared up. You can see the arm drops and the ball into center field. No chance really for Segura. And Polanco with good speed gets into third base. That is a huge run, to say the least, out there at third base.
2-1 count to Pedro Alvarez. Big at bat here. Infield is in. Fastball away, 3-1. The Pirates aggressive on the bases tonight. They'll put themselves in position to tack on a big run.
Man, the big speed guys have been able to get on base tonight.
Base hit. Polanco will score, and it's 4-2 Pittsburgh.
Fourth hit for the Pirates with a man in scoring position tonight. Well, they've had a lot of opportunities tonight. A lot of men in scoring position, a lot of at-bats.
I have them 4 for 14, is that right?
Yep, 4 for 14. And Alvarez able to serve that one in the hole in the left field. A little jam shot that Polanco hit out of the reach of Ramirez, and he comes around to score with the aid of an error.
So an insurance run for the Pirates. Starling Marte, the hitter. That single back in the 5th was of the infield variety. Came around to score. Brewers up against it, down 2, and hoping it gets no worse, knowing that Mark Melanson is going to be on here for the Pirates. Broxton trying to keep his team within shouting distance. There's a drive hit back in the left, and that is gone. 2-run shot, Starling Marte.
Hey, you don't see many hit that far in this ballpark. That was in the second level out there in left. On a cool night here in Pittsburgh. Got the fastball middle in, and that ball was hit hard. You don't see many land that far in this ballpark.
It was his 3rd homer of the year and his 2nd against the Brewers. struggled, but he took out some frustrations in that at bat. Now with a 4-run lead, Clint Hurdle might be able to shuffle the deck in his bullpen. Jordy Mercer. I don't know whether you heard that, but they estimate that blast at 451 feet.
Yeah, every bit of that.
Pirates busted open here a bit in the 8th inning.
I've seen just about every game the Brewers have played in this ballpark, and I think maybe one other time I've seen a ball go up there.
Yeah, that was tagged.
That was, yeah, that's about as long as you're going to hit him here.
One-two pitch. And Mercer is out on strikes. So 2 men out here in the 8th.
And it dropped the slider on him right on the corner. Fox Tracks has it off the plate, but Chris Guccione liked it.
And that's what matters. It is strikeout number 6 for Brewers pitching. First for Broxton. Sean Rodriguez. His last at bat in a self-defense kind of bunt. Well, not kind of, it was self-defense. I mean, that ball was ticketed for his face.
Yeah.
He was able to get down a bunt and advance Mercer. That was against Jeremy Jeffress. Jeffress worked a couple of innings in relief of Jimmy Nelson and went the first 5. 3 runs he allowed, 2 were earned. Jeffress gave up nothing on 2 hits. And the count is 1-2 to Rodriguez. 5 years, the last 5 years, Rodriguez was a Tampa Bay Ray. Last year had a career best 12 home runs. Drove in 41, appeared in 96 games with the Rays.
And the guy that can play all over the place, you figure Clint Hurdle's going to get him in the lineup from time to time. But Jonathan Broxton has to get him out right here. Broxton has given up a couple of home runs so far this year, a couple of 2-run shots.
Ready with the 2-2. Back up the middle. Segura on to first and not in time. Rodriguez legs it out. Continues here for the Pirates. Here's what's on tap, brought to you by Miller Lite. Tomorrow's matchup, Kyle Loesch looking to get some things back in order. He'll be on the mound for the Brewers. Jeff Locke, who we thought was going to go tonight until about 3 o'clock this afternoon, but he and Worley flipping. He'll be on the Fox Sports Wisconsin alternate channel tomorrow night. That starts at 5:30. Neil Walker ready to pinch hit, but first there will be a conversation as Ron Renicky on his way to the mound, and he'll go get Broxton. Well, a rough inning here for the Brewers, now down 4 and going back to the bullpen. The eighth inning, 6-2 Pittsburgh with a new pitcher on the mound for the Brewers, Michael Blazek, trying to finish off this frame.
Yeah, fourth appearance for Blazek. He did pitch in that Cardinals series. A 193 earned run average. He's been a nice surprise so far. He actually pitched 2 scoreless innings, 6 up, 6 down with a couple of strikeouts on Wednesday against the Cardinals. He was named to his first career opening day roster this year.
And he will be facing Neil Walker. We have talked about tonight. He has had a lot of success against the Brewers. Not in the lineup tonight, but gets a chance to pinch hit here in the eighth inning. Juan Rodriguez, the runner at first. Walker last year hit 23 home runs. It's the most for a Pirates middle infielder since Bill Mazeroski went deep 19 times back in 1958. Some rare air reached by Walker a year ago.
Yeah, no kidding. And just about all that power comes as a left-handed hitter. He's a switch hitter. There's a Hall of Famer.
Well, we mentioned those numbers that he put up in 58. Hit a kind of a big one a couple of years later.
Yeah.
They'll always remember here in Pittsburgh.
Home run to win the World Series.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of big.
That is big.
To beat the Yankees.
The series where the Yankees outscored the Pirates by a ton. When they won big. The Pirates won, they won dramatically. None more so than Game 7. Big cut there from Walker. That was the year. Tough inning for Jonathan Broxton, and Blazek trying to close down the Pirates here in the eighth. And he does just that. Strikes out Walker, and that's it for Pittsburgh. But Pirates put 3 on the board, and they lead it 6-2. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Move to the ninth inning. Sean Rodriguez moving from second to first for Pittsburgh. And Neil Walker, who came in to pinch hit, will stay in the ball game and will handle the chores at second. And on the mound, they don't need their closer, Mark Melancon, right now, so Antonio Bastardo gets the call.
Yeah, he sat down as soon as Marte's ball hit the outfield bleachers. Not a safe situation. Bastardo has not allowed an earned run in his first 3 appearances. First year with the Pirates after spending his entire career with the Phillies.
Yeah, including last year, 5-7 mark in 67 games. Luis Jimenez in the pinch hit. As the Brewers in need of a really big inning here, down 4 in the 9th. Bastardo starts him off with a strike. This is the 7th game that Jimenez has appeared in this season.
You might see Jimenez in that starting lineup tomorrow. Maybe spelling Aramis Ramirez to maybe throwing him over to first base to give Lind a day off. Has not started a game yet.
He was down on 3 pitches. 1 out here in the 9th.
Hey, it's the Central Division Showdown at Miller Park, Friday, April 24th through Sunday the 26th. As the Brewers take on the Cardinals. For tickets, visit Brewers.com or call 414-902-4000.
So Jason Rogers was called up from AAA. Carlos Gomez on the disabled list. Rogers gets an at-bat here in the 9th. Rogers last year with September call-up appeared in 8 games. Had a couple of starts at first. First big league hit was a double at Wrigley Field. He's back on September 2nd. Ron Renicky asked about the decision of who you're going to bring up with Carlos on the DL, trying to go with a hot bat. And Rogers certainly brings that. In the 6-game small sample size, but he was hitting .360 at Colorado Springs after a good spring training performance for the Brewers. Selected in the 2010 draft. He's at the plate presented by Wendy's. That's what Jason was doing in AAA. Wasn't messing around, showing a little power his first half dozen games.
Holds those hands at the top of the strike zone, and he's got good opposite field power. He could drive that opposite field gap. As we mentioned earlier, it's going to be a challenge for Ron Renicky to find at bats for Rogers to keep him sharp. Doesn't take long to sit on that bench and lose your edge.
It's always the challenge. You make that jump. Playing every day to now and then. There's a fly ball hit back into left center field, and that is off the wall. And Rogers on his way to second with a double, and now both of his big league hits are doubles. One last year and gets one right now.
Boy, you see the way he dropped the hands on that baseball? A little bit of a smile comes to his face. It's not so hard, just like AAA. Low fastball down and in, and he just drops the head of the bat. That's a nice short stroke for Jason. Nearly hits it out of here to center field. You got to hit a bomb to get out of here to center. Right at the base of the fence for a 1-out double. Good for him.
Yes, sir. Should feel good about that. Here's Martin Maldonado. Appearing in just his 3rd game. Another guy, Rock, you think that he's probably going to need some time, some at-bats. 2 games he has started once.
Hey, kind of a tough call for the Brewers skipper to keep his regulars out there to try and get them going. When you do that, you kind of keep your bench players, inactive, and Might not be ready when you need him, but it's a tough call for him.
Yeah, it really is. You figure if you're going to be in the mix, you're going to be in the mix with the Lucroys and Ramirez and Braun and all those guys.
Yep. Jeanette and Segura, the guys that are in the lineup every day, and when they're not going well, you got to keep them in there to get something, find something.
Segura waiting on deck. 1-2 to Maldonado. And that is strike 3 call. Brewers down to their final out. Strikeout number 8, make it 9 for Pirates pitching tonight. Lance Worley had 6 in 6 innings of work. Gene Segura singled to center back in the 5th. Right back here tomorrow. Game 2 of this series. Loesch versus Locke. It will be on the alternate channel. Check it out. HotSportsWisconsin.com. Bounces up there, 1-1. Two runs on 7 hits for the Brewers tonight. Pirates, after being shut out in consecutive games to the Tigers, have broken through 6 runs, 11 hits this evening. And a base hit to right. Rogers rounding third, heads for home. The throw from Polanco is up the line, and Rogers is in. RBI single for Gene Segura.
And doing it to right field. I mean, that's where most of the hits are for this Brewers offense right now, and nothing wrong with that. We saw it from Chris Davis. And now Segura waiting back. His second hit, and drives in a run with 2 outs. He just takes that high fastball and rips it into right field, so the Brewers stay alive, and now the tying run is on the on-deck circle for Milwaukee.
6-3 game. Clint Hurdle will make a change. So Bastardo gets a couple of strikeouts but gives up a run, and now the closer coming in. We'll tell you about Mark Melancon when we One on and 2 men out. Jonathan Lucroy be ready to face Mark Melanson trying to close this one out for the Pirates.
He had 33 saves a year ago. He took over for Jason Grilli. That ranked 8th in the National League. So far, Melanson's given up some runs in appearance number 5 tonight. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. And Melanson, a save situation with the tying run on deck. We got Luke Croy up, Ryan Braun on deck.
Jonathan has singled in 4 trips. And one game where Melanson struggled, that was in the game against the Tigers. Touched up for 3 runs in an inning of work, 4 hits. It was the one game in that series that the Pirates won on Monday. So it's Melanson versus Lucroy. First pitch swinging in the air to right. On the run, Polanco, and that'll wrap it up. Brewers get 1, but they fall 3 runs short.